That's what I said. Gizmo, did you make it? No, you didn't. I thought you had made it in the video, Gizmo. But you're not. You didn't make it, Poochie. Should have. I don't think it's gonna be enough. I should go do that. Maybe I'll make it because I got some tea. Hey y'all, we here. We are here. Yes, this is live. It is 5:08 p.m. This is live, and in color. We are live. We are live. Okay, I don't need that. So, hey, Amber. Hey, Blue 12 Night 2. How y'all doing? We're going to get started because I don't want to be here all evening. I like to stick to an hour. So, I'll do like maybe 45 minutes of teaching, and then the last part will be questions, or if I see a question that catches my eye, I'll answer the question, while we're going through everything. But we're going to get started because this book kind of goes into detail, and it's a lot of information, and I like to go through the majority of it. Now, I think we did Ogun. Did we do Ogun the last time? Who was here last time? Did we do Ogun? I can't remember, y'all. I be doing so much stuff I can't remember. Maybe we didn't. Was anybody here the last time? Did we stop with? I thought we did too. I do too. I want to say we did Ogun. If not, you know what? We will come back. If we didn't do him, we will come back because there's no real order. I can go back and see later on, and if we didn't, we can always go back and pick him up. Uh, we'll talk about those questions after we go through the teaching. Just remind me again. Okay, so I don't think we did, but we're gonna go on and we're gonna do Ochosi. Now, Ochosi is one of the Orisha that you receive when you receive your warriors. When you receive your alekes, there's no aleke, and if you know what alekes are, the beads that you receive during your first initiation. So when you receive your beads, there's no particular bead that you're going to receive then in your first initiation for um, the warriors or Ochosi. You normally will receive leke for Elegua, but that's it. You normally don't receive one for Ochosi by himself. So it says, as with the other Rishas, Ochosi has been identified with several saints, such as Saint Albert, Saint Hubert, Saint James. The most popular, however, is that of Saint Norbert. And when I started the beginning of this series of the Orishas, we learned that The majority of the Orisha have a Catholic saint attached to them. That's how Santeria is set up, because this part of the religion was the part that was dropped off in more of the Latin countries, Cuba, the Caribbean islands that had a Latin, more of a Latin population. So Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and all of those places that had like Spanish speaking and people who were Catholic, who had a lot of the who were in Catholicism, and so that was how they practiced with the Catholic saints. And that part of it was also adopted by our ancestors because it was easier for them to practice under the Catholic saints than it was to, call out the Orishas by their real names, because we all know that everything that was associated with Africa was, kind of taken from us, or we were told that, that wasn't right, and, they didn't want us to practice that way. So it was easier for us to practice under the guise of Catholicism. So each of the Orisha had a Catholic saint attached to them, which made it, more palatable and more acceptable for white people, because they actually wanted us to be Christian. But if we could make it seem like we were Catholic and worshiping with the Catholic saints, then, like we wouldn't get in trouble, is how all of this came about. So this goes into the feast date for um, Saint Norbert, who Ochosi is associated with, is June 6th. So on June 6th, people would celebrate the Catholic saint, and then would then the people who, um, honored Ochosi would honor him on that day also. So I'm not going to go into the whole, how this Catholic saint came about. And if you want to read all about that, you can get this book, and it will tell you, basically how that saint became, how Saint Norbert became sainted, because all of the saints have a story about how, they came to be a saint in Catholicism. Every saint has a backstory. But I'm not going to go into the backstory, because in my practice I've never got into the honoring of the Catholic saints. Even though I did practice Santeria, the house that I belonged to was predominantly African American. There were some Hispanics or, Latin people in that house, but we didn't per se get into the honoring of the Catholic saints. Actually, the house that I belong to, the majority of people that were in that house came from a Christian background. So they honored the Orishas and Jesus, not the Orishas and Catholic saints. The majority of people that were in that house came from a Christian background like myself. And it shows that you don't denounce Christianity, because that's the majority of us, that is our foundation. Christianity, was our foundation. Baptist, Church of God in Christ, Methodist, whatever your family was, you don't turn your back on that. You still honor that, but you honor the Orisha also. It's not like you have to choose one or the other. It's not like that. You still love, you still have a connection to Jesus because 9 times out of 10, that's what your ancestors believed in. A lot of the ancestors, like I'll take my mom, for instance, was born and raised in Louisiana, knew all about, the hoodoo and everything else. Like she knew about that. She talked about things that she saw in Louisiana about people that practice and everything. But she grew up Baptist. That was her religion. She was a Baptist. And, her whole thing was it was Jesus Christ or nothing else. So I would be um, disrespecting my ancestors if I took that away from them. That is what she believed in. And, I honor her and Jesus because I know that that's what she loved. I grew up in a Baptist church. So I'm never going to say I hate Jesus. I hate the way religion was founded and used as a mechanism to control people. I hate that part of it. But religion itself, Christianity itself, I'm never going to say that I hate that. I hate what people have done to religion and are still doing to religion. I hate that part of it. The man-made part of religion, I hate, I despise. I really do. But you can't take that away from your ancestors because that's all they know. Unless you had ancestors who were not Christians, you had ancestors that, this was what they practiced when they passed away. They were, thank you, Lady Hathor. When they passed away, they were Santeros or Santeras. This was their whole life. Then that's different. Then you don't have to honor Jesus or put a cross on your ancestor table for them or give them a Bible or whatever, the things that you think that they really wanted because they were Christian. You don't have to do that. The only thing you have to do is honor the Orishas, honor who they were and who they work with. That's all you have to do. But see, that's not the case for me because my mom and dad were both very Christian. So it says Ochosi is the divine hunter and is a representation of both divine and human justice. He works always in conjunction with Ogun, who represents brute force and the creative, destructive energies of the cosmos. Together, they symbolize balance, justice, the destruction of the obsolete, and the creation of new avenues of life. Their union implies the dissolution of old ties and the creation of new ones. Ochosi's hunting skills are devoted to the search for protection. He is constantly seeking the most beautiful and perfect creature to present to the Creator. He is a symbol of purity and idealism and is therefore the implacable foe of all that is more immoral and unjust. So Ochosi, Ogun, and Alegwa work together. They are called the warriors. When you go in and have your reading, if there are a lot of things going on in your life that need to be cut down, broken down, maybe you're going through a court case or something like that, you may, it it may come up in a reading that you need to receive your warriors. Now, it did come up in my reading that I needed to receive my warriors a while ago. And because I was going through so much at the time, I never did. I think at that time, I think it was about 10 years ago. I think at that time, the price that I was quoted was $400. And of course, that depends on who is going to be at your ceremony, what is going to take place at your ceremony, like food and animals and all of that kind of stuff. So all of that goes into, dang, how did I lose Wi-Fi on here? All of that goes into how much your ceremony is going to be. These ceremonies are not free. There are a lot of things that goes into the making of a ceremony and the preparing of um your ceremony. So I'm not, I can't say that it's going to be $400 for you, but that was the price that um I was quoted, and that was a while ago. So even if I went back to that same person, that price could be different. So Ochosi is envisioned as a young, fair man of a serene and unearthly beauty. He is dressed in violet hunting clothes and wears a hunting cap made of leopard skin topped with pheasant feathers. His knapsack is also made of leopard skin, and by his side hangs a brace of pheasants. He carries a crossbow in his hands, and his marksmanship is unrelenting. Yeah, he works with bow and arrow, and that if you receive him as your Orisha, that will be one of the tools that you receive in your pot. It is said that he instructs the arrow as he sends it to its destination, telling it exactly where it is to embed itself. In Santeria, he is represented by a crossbow, three arrows, three dogs, a small mirror, a piece of deer horn, and a fish hook, as he is also a great fisherman. These implements are kept with those of Ogun inside the black cauldron that houses them both. So when you receive your warriors, you will receive all of these things in a small black cauldron, and that is what you will do your work with, and that is basically where your Orisha for Ochosi and Ogun and Alegua will reside, because it will be the tools that your implements, the tools that you use, and everything else in there that you need when you receive your Orisha. A crossbow and everything that is related to the hunt and to fishing, including deer horns, stuffed birds, and fish and hunting trophies, in a set of 18 cowrie shells for divination. So when you receive your Orisha, you will also receive cowrie shells to, that's part of your whole um, pot or cauldron. All of that is included. So the colors for Ochosi are violet, red, green, and blue. The days of the week, and these are the days of the week for Santeria. And I told you that the days of the week for Santeria and the days of the week for Ifa or hoodoo or voodoo can all be different. So this is for Santeria. So the days of the week are Monday and Wednesday, and the fourth of each month. So the fourth day of each month. His number is 3. If you want to give an offering, it is pears, grapes, rum, cigars, palm oil, grenadine, gunpowder, and anisette. I need to look that up. Let's see what anisette is. His necklace is one of his necklaces has blue beads alternating with amber beads. Another has green beads with coral, and another has amber beads, cowrie shells, and leopard fangs. Now I have never seen um one of the one of his necklaces with the leopard fangs. I'm pretty sure it depends on what path of Ochosi you are. The all of the Alekes that I've ever seen have just been, the alternating color beads. I've never seen any. I have seen some with cowrie shells, but I've never seen any with leopard fangs. So it says food is toasted corn, cornmeal with palm oil, fruit, venison, goat, male chicken, rooster, quail, pigeon, and all game birds, ball of pigeon peas with palm oil. Now, when it talked about food like this is food that either you're going to give on your altar, or when there is a celebration, say for instance, a person is receiving Ochosi for the first time, these are the foods that are going to be made for the celebration and dedicated to Ochosi. These ain't the foods that you're eating. These are foods for Ochosi. So when they make the big, elaborate, beautiful altars that they make for celebration, these will be the foods that you will see in the beautiful plates and, decorated real nice. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a ceremony, Ocha. When someone is making Ocha, there's always a beautiful altar made for the Orisha that the person is receiving. So if the person is receiving Ochosi, the colors for Ochosi, the beautiful material with the colors of that particular Orisha, and then all of the beautiful fruit, all of the fruit that Ochosi likes, the food that Ochosi like. I mean, the spread is so beautiful. They will have all of the fruits and food and everything like on really elaborate, beautiful plates, and it's just a beautiful sight to see. If you've never witnessed that, I've always told you guys, you have to go to a bimbe, you have to go to a celebration, and to just see um all of this will just touch your spirit, just to see the altar setup will touch your spirit. Like the fishing net, they usually have like animal skins. I mean, and if this kind of stuff bothers you, then this ain't for you. Like if it's going to bother you to see like a turtle shell, knowing that there was once a turtle in there, or a skeleton from a cat or something, then this ain't for you. This not for you. That's why I tell people to read books, because when it speaks on animals, these were animals that were once alive. Okay? When it talks about pigeons, doves, goats. You may come to a ceremony and hear a baby goat in the background. And after a while, you're not going to hear them no more because they have been sacrificed and, eaten. So if that kind of stuff bothers you, then this ain't for you. This ain't for vegans because they are going to serve meat. They're going to serve meat that has been, spiritually sacrificed and cooked and eaten and served at the celebration. So if you're a vegan, this ain't for you. And don't come in telling people what they should not be doing because this is how this religion is set up. So I'm just going to um throw that out there. Chickens, roosters, doves, pigeons, all of those animals can be picked up at a Chinese market before ceremony because I'm telling you now that I had a ceremony one time and I had to bring a chicken. And the chicken, okay, so when you go and pick up, because you go to a Chinese market, the animals are alive and they put it in a bag, a brown bag, because they don't want to put it in a plastic bag because you want that animal to be alive when you get to the ceremony. So they put it in a brown bag, and I put him. It was me and my god sister. She had one, I had one. They was in two separate bags. So I put him in the back seat. And I was like, girl, you sit back there with him to make sure, because I knew it was going to be a problem if that chicken got out that bag. So the whole time we're driving, the chickens is back there. Like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I don't want to be in this car. They're back there, they rustling, around in the bags and stuff, but they were okay. So we driving from San Francisco to Hayward with chickens in a brown bag. So, the whole time, this is what we didn't take into account. The whole time that you're driving, the chickens are peeing and pooping. And they're probably doing more than they normally do because they're in a car and they're scared. So by the time we got to, thank God, by the time we got there and, was taking the bags out of the car, the bag had like got wet, child, and my chicken's foot had came through like his foot was sticking out the bag. And I was so scared to like hold the bag under the bottom so that he didn't bust all the way through that wet bag. I had to literally put the chicken back in the car and go in the house and tell one of my god brothers that my bag broke and I'm scared that the chicken is going to get out. Now, people who have more experience working with the animals than you do know that it's a lot for your first time to, because that was the first time I had ever went picked up one. So he went out to the car and got him like it wasn't nothing, just picked the chicken up, and he was holding on to the chicken, and they went on in the he took the chicken on in the house because you can't get there with a dead animal. Like, your chicken has to be alive because there's prayers that have to be prayed over him before he makes his transition. So if it's gonna scare you to touch animals that are alive, and then they you know they ain't gonna be alive for long, then this ain't for you. And I'm just gonna keep it real because that's gonna happen. You're gonna have to do that because that's part of your ceremony, and your godmother is not gonna go get your chickens for you. Or you may be fortunate enough that your godmother has, some chickens in her backyard, or my godmother did have a chicken coop, but they weren't always for ceremony. But that's what happened to me, child, with the chicken. And I have had to, get chickens on more than one occasion. That was just one chicken um story. So it says, as a human archetype, Ochosi is seen in people who are quick-witted and clever, always alert, full of imagination. These people are fond of family life, yet they cherish change and excitement. They are just and basically honest and unwavering in their principles. They are ambition and love to take chances. So that means, like, this is what some of the attributes that a child of Ochosi may have as a human, as us. This is what, some of the attributes that you may have if you are a child of Ochosi. So, initiation. Ochosi is received with Elegua and Ogun, and in the initiation known as Elegua and the Warriors, which he already talked about in the book. He is also received by the initiate or Yahweh, who is initiated into his mysteries in the ceremony of in the Ocha, basically. This is one of the most complex and costly of the Santeria initiation. It requires additional ceremonies that take place in the woods. Now, normally, a ceremony, anyway, this is why it's so expensive, because normally a ceremony starts Friday and does not end until Sunday night. So sometimes you have to stay the initiate has to stay with their godmother for a week. So you go in that Friday and then you don't go home until that next Friday. But the ceremony is 3 days. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in those 3 days. In those 3 days, you go through countless wardrobe changes, and on the last day, which is that Sunday, is the big party. The big party, because that's when you're being presented to everybody as the Yahweh. That's when you have had your, the day before they didn't cut your hair and you shaved your head, you bald. You're going to be in all white. That's when you start your journey. You will be in all white for a complete year. But on that Sunday, you get to wear the outfit of your Orisha. So whatever your Orisha is, like, since I'm a child of Oshun, I would have on, some beautiful dress that would be dedicated to Oshun. Very lavish, very beautiful. And so if you're Ochosi, then you would wear something that would represent Ochosi. And then that would be the last day for an entire year. that you will be able to touch anything in color. So for an entire year, you will be in all white from head to toe. After they take your, lavish outfit off that night, you will go into all white and you will be in all white for an entire year. So there, this ain't no joke. And for that entire year, this is like your learning process where your, godmother is basically teaching you how to be a priest. You are learning the mysteries of the Orisha. You are learning things about the Orishas that you cannot get out of books. This is the verbal teaching, the teaching that came down from generation, things that they do not share in books. So, it's a very interesting period for you because it's a learning, a real learning period. And then during that 3 days, you receive your orishas also. So you receive the pots that you will have for your orisha. And then after your 7 days that you live with your godmother, then you take them home and you have to learn how to take care of them. You have to learn because during that 7 days, your godmother is teaching you how to get up in the morning and do your prayers, teaching you how to say the prayers correctly, teaching you how to salute your orishas, how to clean your orishas, and you have to stay with your godmother because it's certain things that you have to do in the morning, and you have to be shown how to do those things. And that's it's not where she can call you on the phone and tell you what to do. No, stay with your godmother for a week, and then she's going to teach you how to, take care of your rishas, how to um say your prayers, because there's certain prayers that they give you before you, become a priest, and then when you become a priest, then your prayers change. So the way that I would pray to the Orisha would be different than the way that someone who has received Ocha, how they would pray. And so you have to learn all of that. Let me look at some of you guys' questions. Why can't I see the questions on here? I don't know what is wrong with this iPhone, y'all. Yeah, I can't see the questions. Let me go out and come back in. Maybe that'll do it. Okay, here they are. Hey KK, hey Moth Mama. Yeah, Lady Heather, it does take discipline and dedication. And that is some of the things that you're going to learn while you're staying that 7 days with your godmother. You're going to learn some of that discipline. Plus, during that 7 days, she's going to teach you the things that you can and cannot do. You can't look in a mirror for a year. Your mirrors at home have to be covered up. So when you do come home, your godmother is going to bring you home because she's going to go into the house before you and she's going to cover up every mirror in your house. And they are to stay covered for an entire year. There's no reason for you to see your reflection. You ain't got no hair So it ain't like you ain't got nothing to comb, and you gotta wear a scarf on your head for a whole year, or a hat, a beanie, or anything that's white. So tie your head up and go on about your business. There's nothing for you to look. It ain't nothing for you to look at. You're bald completely. No, you're not. I think for the first 6 months or something, you're not wearing no makeup. You're going back to natural, being natural. You're naturally natural. It's a rebirth. So you don't need all of that, because as a Yahweh, you're considered a child. You're starting from the beginning. The day that you complete your Ocha is your birthday. So you have a new birthday. You are a child. Like my god sister, who is my best friend, is she in her six? She got to be in her 60s. But in Ocha, her Ocha, I think she's 16. So you start all over from birth. It's a rebirth. That's part of the reason why they shave your head. You're a baby, newborn. So you can't use a fork. You can only use a spoon. You can't use a knife because you wouldn't give a baby a fork or a knife. So they give you a spoon. You have a little kit. You have to eat on the floor. It's a lot. You have a bowl to eat. You have a bowl and a spoon. And those are your eating utensils that you have to take everywhere with you, because that's the only way that you can eat. It teaches you discipline. So even when you're out in public, you're not supposed to be going to like restaurants and all of that kind of stuff unless you're with your godmother. You have to be home before the sun goes down unless you're with your godmother or one of your older siblings in the religion. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. A lot. And I think for that year, you're supposed to abstain unless you're married. If you're not married, I think you're supposed to be abstaining for a year, because no one's supposed to sleep with you unless you're married. So yeah, it's a lot. It really, really um teaches you um dedication. No, once your head is shaved, it's just shaved. Your hair is, by the time your um ultra is over, you'll have hair. Of course, your hair is gonna grow back, but yeah, you don't keep shaving. Your hair is growing up under your scarf, and you are allowed to comb it and stuff, but you can't be seen in public without something covering your head. Your head is always to be covered. Yeah, them chickens knew. I believe they knew what was up. They was probably talking to each other like, oh shit, this is it. They knew, because they was back there talking. I mean, they talked the whole day, was chatting it up. And they were in separate bags, so they couldn't see each other. But they knew, that somebody else was in that, another chicken was in the car. So they was talking. They was they were talking the whole time. But it's not just the Ogun offerings, sweetheart. That's for all of the Orishas. All of the Orishas have some type of offering. because I wasn't bringing that chicken for Ogun. And you never know when it's going to come up in your reading that you're going to need an animal. And it may be a dove. Because one time I had to bring a white dove, and that dove was so pretty, but I knew what the end was going to be. And if that's if that's a problem for you, then this not for you. That bird was so pretty, and I love birds. I love them, and I sure didn't want to. You know, I knew what his end was, and this was he was this bird. I don't know if it was a he or a she, but this bird was so pretty, all white. So you just you never know when it's going to um come up in your reading that you're going to need something. Okay, that's yeah, my mama email me, that's fine. Or message me on Instagram. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, I'm not sure if we did or not, Batman, but if we did, then somebody obviously needed this. If we did it before, then obviously someone needed it, so we did it again. So let me answer Prodigy Powhatan. I don't know if that person is still here, but they said, do you have to be initiated to talk to the Orisha? You don't have to be initiated, but there are some things that the Orisha will not do for you unless you've been initiated. If you're just talking to the Orisha, you have had no formal reading, and you just picked an Orisha out the hat because you think, oh well, this I like Ochosi, he's cute, or he got a bow and arrow, so I like him. That's not how it works. Then I'm not going to say that he's not going to help you, but you're not going to get the same treatment that someone else would if they are initiated. That's like um going to a private golf course or something. You may be able to go to the restaurant and get something to eat, but you can't golf because you're not a member. It's, kind of like that. I don't even know if you can go to the restaurant, but I'm just saying, like going to, these hotels, you can go to the restaurant or the bar, but you can't just pick a room and be like, oh, I want to stay here because the hotel is nice. It's the same thing um with the Orisha. Can somebody put my email in the um chat? I don't know why y'all don't have my email by now. It's the same thing. My name, Omotion94602 at AOL.com. And YouTube will not let me put 94602 back on my channel for whatever reason. Oh, let me make sure I say this. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please um post a comment on the videos that I post, even if it's just hi. If you don't want to go into a detailed comment, just say hi or something, because the comments help the algorithm. This new system that YouTube has implemented, this algorithm type situation deal thing, So I heard a larger YouTube explain. So everybody, does like my Orisha teaching. Those videos do get the most views. Now, under the Orisha teaching is my haul videos. Under that is the vlogs, and like the last thing is my wig reviews. So, because they think that you guys don't like my wig reviews, when I post a wig review, it's not recommended to you because they think you guys don't like it. So when I do a wig review, you guys have to, help me out by putting comments in there so that the algorithm will be like, oh, okay, well, they do like her wig reviews. So when she does those, we will recommend them, because this whole thing is done by it's all computer generated. So the computer looks at your views and likes and comments and all of that kind of stuff, and they recommend your videos based on that. YouTube should have just left their system like it was before, because the system, the way things are set up now, everybody is complaining and everybody is talking about their, views are down. Even um some of the bigger YouTubers that I watch. So yeah, it's crazy. But please just kind of make sure that, when I do post a video, that, you guys like the video for one thing, like the video, and leave me a comment. And even if you've already commented in the live of this video, when the video uploads, can you please go to that part and put in, hey, a heart or something, so that boosts the algorithm also, because I'm trying to get these little coins now, because we trying to buy a house. So every penny helps, because so many of the videos also are demonetized because you can't talk about real world news. I mean, it's crazy. So many things that we can't talk about, even though your channel said this ain't for kids. This is not a children's channel. You still can't talk about it. So thank you, Lady Hathor. Lady Hathor said, you don't pick the Orisha. The Orisha pick you. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be a child of Oya because Oya rules the cemetery, and I want to be her. I want to be the one that's making the spirits lay down at night. You can't do that. Oya has to pick you. Oya has to see something in you that makes that makes her want to be your mother or your Orisha. You can't just pick her. Now you can honor her. You can see traits in Oya that, you respect, or, you want, and you can honor her. You can set up an altar with things that, you think are for Oya, or, read and find out what type of things that Oya likes. And it's fine to set up an altar, but you can't just say that that's my Orisha, or that's my head Orisha. And for one, you've never had a reading, and for two, or y'all ain't spoke up and said you are. That's just not how it works. Wish it was that easy. Hi, Ebony. Um, we wish it was that easy, but it's not. Now let me see. Did I finish everything? Oh, okay. I'm not about to go into the legend and all of that kind of stuff. Some of these things you gonna have to read for yourself, and you should. I done told y'all what book this is a million times. Some of it you gotta read on your own. But it says Ochochi rules over court cases in all situations where justice is desired. He rules over jails, over judges, and all lawyers. He is also the one to be invoked when someone is being victimized and wishes to chastise their tormentor. So, a lot of people use Ochochi for court cases, any type of a court case, anytime you have to go before the judge, you need a lawyer, all of those type of things, you can get an HOC candle and write your petition and go from there. KK gotta go. Okay, sweetie, see you later. Um, yeah, that is what HOC is used for. So if you got a court case or something like that on Chelsea would be great to petition for your court case. But you need to find out what are some of the things. What is a offering that I can use for Ochosi? What can I give him to appease him? Or to make him happy, to let him know that I'm not just coming begging. I not coming empty handed. Like my mama always told me, if somebody invites you to their house or whatever, don't go to their house empty handed. Bring them something. If somebody invites you to, that's like going to a birthday party. You don't go to a birthday party empty handed. You bring the person a gift. It's the same way with the Orisha. You don't just keep coming to them empty handed. You have to show them that you appreciate them and that you love them. And there's certain things that the Orisha enjoy. So you need to find out what those things are and provide them for the Orisha. I mean, I've always said that this religion is not cheap. It will hit your pockets because you are constantly purchasing items during ceremonies and days. There are things you have to bring. Um, you know, Clothes are not cheap because you do have to, when you go to bimbes, like when you go to the parties or whatever, you do have to wear all white. And people are really creative with their all white. Like the women have to wear certain skirts. You can wear like white leggings under your skirts, but you're not just going to walk into a bimbe with just some white leggings on and like a white crop top. No, you have to look decent and respectful. And um and when they say white, they mean, Snow White. This ain't like beige. No, white. Shoes, socks, every purse, earrings, scarf, everything, bra, panties, everything is white. So, yeah, it ain't cheap. It's really not. So, that's just part of it. And it's not just Santeria, it's Ifa, I think Ifa is a little more relaxed with the clothing because when I went to a Ifa party, mostly everybody was dressed in African attire. So it was more colorful. But there are times in Ifa ceremonies that you should be in white also. But Ifa is a little bit more um colorful. But the offerings and food and fruit and all of that, the offerings that you give to the Orisha, those things are basically the same. It's just maybe your clothing is different. And I'm not sure in Ifa, when you get initiated into Ifa, I'm not sure if they shave your entire head, because I know in one of them they only shave enough in the crown of your head to do whatever it is that you have to do. And they try to do it less on women so that you can pull your hair together and hide that situation. I think in Cuba, if you get made in Cuba, I don't think they shave your head at all. They're able to do whatever they do on your head without shaving your hair. I'm gonna always believe that Beyonce and Jay-Z, when they went to Cuba, that time they went to Cuba to get married. I really do believe that, because after they came back from Cuba, was when I think Beyonce did Lemonade, or she did something. That was after they came back from Cuba, was when she started showing things, dropping little um Orisha nuggets in her videos. So I really do believe that they went to Cuba to get made, because when you go to Cuba, they don't shave your head. And a lot of the things that we do traditionally here, they don't do that there. You can go to Cuba, get made, go home, the next couple of days or whatever. You don't have to stay there the entire time. But whoever makes you in Cuba is your godparent. So I'm not really sure how they did all that, but I do believe that that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem. Okay, Moth Mama, I'm about to go too, because I only like to stay on for like an hour. I didn't have a problem doing the all white, but I'm so meticulous. Um, I just, I'm one of the kind of people. I don't, if I'm in all white, I'm just so particular, because I don't want nobody to spill nothing on me. I don't want to spill anything. Like if I'm in all white, I want it to stay white the whole time. I'm just, being in all white just did something to my anxiety. It just took my anxiety to 10, because if I'm in white, I don't, I don't want to get dirty, or I don't want um anything to spill on me. And it was so interesting, because there were a few times when I had to do white for like 14 days. And I was okay around the house wearing it, but when I went out in public, like, you sitting on um public transportation, and people are dirty. Like I used to, not people are dirty, but the buses would be dirty and stuff. So I used to have to carry a shawl or something with me to lay down on the seat when I sat down, because I didn't want to get my clothes dirty. I was just real meticulous like that. You should at least have one a year, to be honest. That's what most people normally do. Most people normally have one at the beginning of the year. So one a year. And then you may have to have one more often than that, depending on, that's something that you and your godparent will talk about, but at least one a year. And I haven't had one in a while. And then I hadn't had one in a while, and that was how I ended up having to have like a deep cleansing, and being all white for 14 days. So I don't know. I do want to have um I do want to have one after we move and um get settled and everything. I'm not really concerned about it right now because, we're in this transitional phase, but after we move and get settled and I can put my altars back up and stuff, then yeah, I do want to have a reading then. So that's it, y'all. My throat getting dry. And did I answer everybody's question? If I didn't, just make sure you email me. I think I did. I think I answered everybody. Are having those restrictions are supposed to cleanse you spiritually too? Which which restrictions? Your clothing restrictions and stuff, and not being able to, which restrictions? Because I'm not sure where we were um when we were talking about that. Like the sex and stuff. If that's it, then yeah. Because after when you were you're a yawo for a whole year. Like you're a baby, and babies don't have sex. If you're married, then that's different. That's totally different. Of course, the Orisha are not going to tell you not to have sex with your partner for a whole year. But if you just out here with Jody, then Jody gonna have to wait for a whole year. Because yeah, you're going through a very serious spiritual commitment. And yes, you are supposed to stay clean. Period. Because there are going to be a lot of things that you can do. There'll be colors you can no longer wear. There'll be food that you can no longer eat. There'll be places that you can't go. Like you may get an Odu and you can never set foot in a club again. You can never drink alcohol again. You can never smoke cigarettes again. So you just never know what's going to um come up. Like my god sister, she can never wear the color red. Ever. Red, nothing. So you never know what's going to come up in your ETA, or your reading. So that's it, y'all. I will see you guys tomorrow. I think I'm going to do a wig review because I did get 2 new wigs this weekend. Okay, so I dyed my hair. I did not like it at all. Period. So I'm be wearing wigs every day until this hair grows back out. My grandson's mom told me that I can get some Dawn dish soap and wash my hair with some Dawn dish soap to try to strip out. I don't know, child. I'm gonna try it and see, but I hate it. Hated it. I hate it. It's ugly. And when it first happened, I literally wanted to just jump out the window or something. So I'm gonna have on a wig every time y'all see me. Either I'm gonna have on a wig or I'm gonna have on one of them little turban hats because nobody is going to see this hair. It's bad. Bad, bad. Okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with a wig review. I love you guys and I appreciate you. So when this video uploads, please don't forget to go by and just put a like on it and say, hey girl, thank you, or something short. It could be something short, but I just need to make sure that my videos are getting comments and likes so that the algorithm, it'll help the algorithm. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye. Come on.